And welcome into another episode of Three to Crowd. I'm Preston August. Eli is back with us today. Eli, how you doing today?
Yep, doing pretty good. Good to be back.
Yeah, it's great to have you back too. As we are, our goal is to get to 200 subscribers by the start of football season. We got one more subscriber yesterday. That's good. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. That really helps us out a lot. Anyway, let's get into the main thing today. The Magic lose game 7 116 to 94, completing the 3-1 comeback for the Pistons. Now, it wasn't a good one out there, would you say?
No, I mean not at all. It was typical Jamahl Mosley garbage. One player shoots the ball, runs around, misses. Another player shoots the ball, throws it across the court to the other side, misses, turnover. Everything terrible possible that just pretty much happened. I mean, I can't say I'm very surprised though.
Absolutely. You had Paolo Banchero put up 38 points again, and that's been a theme this series for the past couple games. Paolo goes off. You have no help on there. Desmond Bain, 5 for 10. Why is he only shooting 10 times in the game?
Yeah,
Jalen
I think it
Suggs.
was because a sore Thompson was just playing really good defense, so they had to kind of move away from Bane. But still, I mean,
Mhm.
you got to plan around that as a coach.
I'm calling out Jalen Suggs too. What was he doing?
Suggs
Oh,
played like
9.
garbage, and for some reason they were treating him like he was the best player on the team, coming up with the ball just about every time.
I don't understand that for the Magic. Giving Jalen Suggs ball, he's been horrible. He was horrible in the series.
Yeah,
Wait
I
the
could
game.
see Suggs being a trade candidate for sure.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Get the value while you can. And including the game six, Suggs went 1 for 10 from the field. And his only make was a three.
Yeah,
Desmond Bain, 7 for 18, 17 points. And, and Paolo Banchero shot 4 for 20 in game six. That was just an atrocious shooting night on all ends for the Magic. I mean, scored 19 points in a single half. Are you kidding me?
yep,
Well, you had a 22-point lead, and you had a chance to go on to the next round for the first time in 16 years, and you blow it. Just blow it.
yeah. I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, that's why I don't have any emotion. It's just it is what it is.
It was expected that we would lose game seven at this point. In my opinion, when we lost game six, I knew we lost the series. We lost all confidence in that team.
Yep.
And then so many missed opportunities in game five to close it out. Paolo 45 points on top of Cunningham's 45 points. Free throws were a big issue. Paolo going 5 for 12, and a lot of guys missing. So we have nobody but ourselves to blame in that one.
Yeah, for sure. It was a bad one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, at least as a result of that, Jamal Mosley is fired. So
Yes.
we do have something to look forward to. I mean, who do you see as potential candidates maybe in this role, Preston?
I mean, what I've heard this morning from some pundits, Billy Donovan is available. He good at Florida, coming back to the state of Florida with the Magic, possibly. I mean, he led the Bulls to a respectable record until it was time to rebuild there. The Thunder, he led them with Kevin Durant to the Western Conference Finals, even though he blew a 3-1 lead. But I would say I would say he might be the best option out there now that Mike Malone is at uh UNC. I also Dusty May. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love Dusty May, but I don't think he's moving on from Michigan, unfortunately.
I don't think so. If he wasn't moving on from to North Carolina, I don't think he's leaving Michigan. But talking about Jamal Mosley, it was time to let him go. And we saw how his team performed, but I think he should go. He's still good enough to be a head coach somewhere, just not in Orlando anymore. He's gotten enough out of the talent that he could. I think he can go to a team maybe like Chicago that's looking for a rebuild.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get a head coaching role at this current position. I mean, the way he finished it out in Orlando just was horrible.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he did. You have all the desperate teams. Let's see who does have coaching vacancies in the NBA right now. It depends on the right situation. Let's see. So actually searched vaccines instead of vacancies. Bulls and Pelicans, and we have Taylor Jenkins going to the Milwaukee Bucks. So right now the Bulls and the Pelicans are the only open roles right now. New Orleans is interesting because we don't know what direction they're going in. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, I guess the thing with Jamahl Mosley, he's not a terrible coach if you're trying to rebuild, but anything beyond that, you're then just gonna have to fire him and hire somebody else. So I think that's the issue.
And when he came in 2021, he completed the rebuild. And I remember that era for the Magic. Back then, we had just traded away Vucevic, Gordon, all those guys from the first pieces of a playoff run back in 2019, 2020. Traded those guys at the right time. We got the pick to select Franz Wagner, selected Jalen Suggs, who's okay, and then we got Wendell Carter in that package too, I believe. And then
Yeah,
we drafted Paolo the next year. Had a good He's starting to become a good player that used the first round picks to trade for Desmond Bane. And I think that's another reason why Jamahl Mosley was ultimately let go because we traded those first round picks for Desmond Bane. We were in win now situation. We were a better team than the eighth seed.
yeah, for sure.
But whoever comes in, I think the Magic may go on a run next year if they get everybody healthy. So that's another reason, in my opinion, we fell to an eight seed. And also, that's a good point. The series did switch when Franz Wagner went out with an injury, didn't return.
Yeah, for sure.
And then moving on to the 76ers, they come back from 3-1 down against the Boston Celtics. I mean, that was a crazy comeback, right?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Crazy comeback, and you got to give it to him. I mean, Sixers have just looked like a completely different team. The Celtics, a lot of people were picking them to go all the way. So,
Including me, by the way.
yeah, me too.
But I would say Philly definitely showed that they're a better team with Joel Embiid in the lineup. I mean, when he first came back to the lineup, I think it was game five. They went to they lost at home, or I think that was in Boston. No, that was at home game five in Philadelphia. They Embiid came back. They just didn't look right. They they just needed some time to gel together, and they did. And we thought by in game one that would be a sweep. I was one of them that thought it would be. Then Philly bounced back game two, then lost the next two at home. I mean, it's an incredible comeback for the 76ers. And I think same thing with Franz Wagner for the Magic. I think it changed when Jason Tatum went out with that knee injury in, I think, game six. They did look the same in the fourth quarter. And then they just came back and the Sixers came back and won that game. I talk about missed opportunities all the time. The Celtics, especially game six, game five, when they had to close them out, or yeah, game five when they had to close them out, they couldn't, and that's why they're in that situation where they ultimately fall to 7 games to the 76ers.
Yeah.
So we go to the from that series to the one that the Sixers will be playing. Which team is more talented, the 76ers or the New York Knicks?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Knicks maybe do have the better team coming into it, but I think the Sixers have been playing better as of late. Whenever they're healthy, they're the better team.
Absolutely. I mean, with Maxey, Edgecombe, Paul George is starting to show up as well. The Sixers definitely have talent. And I think that last season when they missed the play and went into the lottery, selected Edgecombe, I think he was their missing piece. You get another shooter on that team like him. Let me see, what would they have? 23 points in game seven against the Celtics. The rookie's definitely turning into something here. I think he might have been a little bit underrated in the coach of the year, or excuse me, the rookie of the year race, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And the Knicks on the other side, they have players like Brunson, who he didn't show up in that blowout loss to the Hawks back on Thursday night in Game Six, but he definitely he can definitely show up at times. I think when the Knicks play as a team, they can definitely blow you out, and that's with Anunoby only have 29 points. Josh Hart, all the starters had at least 12 points. And I think in that blowout loss to the or that blowout win for the against the Hawks, they had 14 different players scoring a bucket in that game. Now, that's an insane
yeah,
stat.
that is pretty insane. Yeah,
So it'll be
definitely
interesting.
league with depth.
Absolutely. And that was an issue for the Knicks last year with under Tom Thibodeau, where he barely played his bench and they got tired. But now you see when they have the depth, they're really looking better at this point.
Yeah, for sure. And moving over to another game, the Cavs beat the Raptors in 7 games. I feel like this
Mhm.
game was kind of similar to the Magic in terms of Raptors are the underdog, not the best offense, but defensively they can get it done. I mean, what's your takeaways from that series?
My takeaways from the series is that the Raptors they're definitely ahead of schedule right now. They're showed that they can go 7 games. And you know what this series reminded me of? The Cavs Magic series back in 2024. The home teams won every game. The Magic were up and coming against a Cavs team who has been there before, but barely getting out of the second round. But I think that this series, for the Raptors, I think Scotty Barnes is definitely emerging as a superstar. RJ Barrett played an incredible role player in
Yeah, he had that game-winning shot in Game 6.
that Halliburton type of shot.
Yeah, I was thinking of Kawhi Leonard maybe.
Oh yeah, Kawhi Leonard back in 2019
Yeah,
with that buzzer beater in Game 7 against the 76ers. But they got a lot of talent on that team with Jakob Poeltl. He didn't have the best game. The Raptors definitely have someone to build around and a good core. And I think that they might be someone to watch out for in the future.
yeah, for sure. They definitely got good guys, and be interesting to see how they build around Scotty Barnes for the future.
Absolutely, he's definitely Scotty Barnes is definitely showing that he could be a superstar in this league. But for the Cavs, Evan Mobley only 13 points. Jared Allen really took over that game. 22, 19, and 2, 7 for 11 from the field. Jared Allen he's definitely shown that he can show up at the right times.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's a guy who they definitely have gotten a lot more out of, which is good.
James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, 18 points for Harden, 22 for Mitchell. You didn't really see them disappear. They usually disappear in the second round of the playoffs, but we'll see how they do against the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, hopefully they can stay in it.
And then some news last week that I went over it on Friday. You weren't here on Friday. I want to get your thoughts on the NCAA tournament expanding from 68 to 76 teams with an expanded first four.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting move. I don't really think that's the smartest, honestly. You kind of take away some of the magic with March Madness with that. I mean, I think it's gonna punish these smaller teams more than anything.
Oh yeah, I agree with you there. So here's how the first four is going to be from here on out. So it looks like 8 games will be 12 from four format change instead of four for 8 teams. It's going to be 12 first four games involving 24 teams, and there's going to be a second first four site along with Dayton, Ohio. So the teams involved will include all 16 teams, half of the 15 seeds, and a mix of at-large teams at 11, 12, and 13. So,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
absurd.
In my opinion, if you win your conference tournament, you should go to the field of 68 and get automatic bye to that.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, the first four should be the teams that are at large bids getting in, like Miami of Ohio, like North Carolina a couple years ago,
Yeah, I agree.
maybe even UCF.
Yeah, we're on the line this year.
But I agree with you. I think this is a bad expansion. It dilutes the product of the tournament. You get like you probably get the 11th, 12th best SEC or Big Ten teams in the tournament. That's who it benefits.
Yeah, exactly.
Teams like Auburn that didn't really do much to deserve to get in.
Yeah, I agree completely. It's not the greatest, but moving on, we've got the UFL. What's the recap for this week looking like, Preston?
So I was at the Birmingham Stallions and Orlando Storm game. Terrible game for the. We just missed opportunities for the Storm to get the win. I mean, a lot of turnovers. Let me check the stats here. So in terms of turnovers, Plummer he had let me scroll down here. It's not as easy to find, but I'll say this. So there was a turnover, a fumble snap in the red zone toward the first quarter. We didn't score there. And then another fumble where I kid you not, the ball was snapped and it barely left the ground on the snap. So you had that. Jay Sean Corbin fumbled on the next drive. And then in the fourth quarter, we were trying to make a comeback drive. We punted on like 4th and 1 from our own 49 with about 2.5 to go. So we didn't get the ball back again. I can see the logic there, but if it's a 4th and short situation at midfield, you got to go for it for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Beck confuses me with his decisions sometimes.
Absolutely. But not to knock Jack Plummer, he still had over 300 yards passing. Uh, let me see the other the other stats here. Hamler, 8 receptions, 113 yards, and the touchdown. I think I forgot who scored right in front of us for the Storm.
Finally. I feel like they never score on our side.
I think it was Hamler for the to tie up the game back in the second quarter.
Gotcha.
So that game was Sunday. The Defenders blew out the Renegades 24-6. The Renegades are now 6-3. DC's 5-1. Aviators beat the Houston Gamblers 24-17, and the Battlehawks beat Louisville 16-3. And let's take a quick look at the standings right now for the UFL. Defenders are first place at 5-1. The Battlehawks jumped us for second at 4-2, and we're the 3 seed at 4-2. Renegades fall to 3-3. I think they've lost their last 3 games. So right now we have a 2 game lead in the playoffs, and I believe DC can clinch a playoff spot this weekend with a win.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
So we'll see what happens there as we go to our other headlines. The Montreal Canadiens outlasting the Tampa Bay Lightning in Game 7. I think that the final score of that one was 2-1. Tampa Bay has some chances to score, but it couldn't score at the end. And then the Yankees, their former radio announcer John Sterling dies at age 87. He was there from 1989 to 2024. Most famous for after Yankees win saying, "The Yankees win."
Packers lose.
And then go that was getting those from David Ortiz. The Yankees lose.
Yeah.
And all those. And then Golden Tempo wins the Kentucky Derby as a 23-1 underdog. What do you think of that?
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things. Kentucky Derby, I feel like you never really know who's going to win, so it's interesting.
I think Rapoli's horse was the favorite to win. I actually saw Rapoli at the game on Sunday. Came by our section.
Okay.
And then the Mavs, they hire Masai Ujiri as the new team president. I want to say he was with the Raptors last, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look it up real quick. Masai Ujiri, he was um, NBA champion 2019. Yep, he was with the Raptors as their president for a while. I think he did a good job there.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he was NBA champion, so definitely there's something with that.
Yeah, I think he'll do. The Mavericks definitely have a good future ahead of them, building around Cooper Flag. We'll see how he does there.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we go to what we are watching for this week. We'll start with you, Eli. What are you watching for this week?
I'm going to watch for the Lakers versus Thunder series. I don't even know if it'll be the best series of the year necessarily, but it's LeBron's potentially final season. He's playing against the next up and comer, Shea. Interesting to see how that series pans out.
Absolutely. LeBron getting it done in the second round against or excuse me, the first round against the Rockets. That'll be definitely a series to see if LeBron can't continue in the playoffs. Is Luka Doncic coming back this
Uh, I think maybe. I'm not sure if it's confirmed though.
Interesting to see whenever he comes back how that'll impact things. For me, I would say a series that we talked about earlier, Sixers and Knicks. That should be a good one. Like I said, with Maxey and Embiid, Edgecombe on one side, you have Brunson and Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns on the other. That's going to be a great series. So that'll do it for today's episode. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Tell us what you think. And we'll be back for more streams tonight and all throughout the playoffs. And we'll have another rank 'em on Friday, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you again next time.